Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Three Strangers podcast. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Nick.
And we are on a new platform right now recording this. Unfortunately, Skippy, for the next month, he's working on his projects and everything, so we're letting him do that. And we said, you know what? Let's try to upload some stuff while he's still working so we could get some good content out there for everyone. And we are starting it with Dolls from 1987, the perfect movie to come back to.
Yeah, sure. I feel very okay.
Right.
Anyone that's freaking listened before, guys, I have problems with dolls. I don't know if I ever told you guys the story from my childhood, but my mom was very into I believe it's called American Girl. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Like
yeah,
those-
Tina had the American Girl dolls.
They were huge. And I remember I was like, we had this like kind of bonus room where I would practice piano and stuff. And there was ones in there that like would like be like staring at me while I was practicing piano, and I had to literally turn them around so that they weren't looking at me like while I was guys. It was a major paranoia thing. I don't know what it was. I truly, and my mom would be like, "Why are these turned around in here?" And I used to be like, "Oh," like
Yeah.
like I did not wanting to admit that I literally am like scared of like dolls like to that degree. I don't collect dolls. I don't want them in my house. I'm not gonna be on. I'm gonna be honest. Extends to mannequins too. I don't like them, guys. I don't know.
So if there was like those pranksters that were like you pretending to be mannequins and they jumped at you if you were like a target,
Dude.
like
Oh, dude, it'd be so over. It'd probably be hands. I have to be honest. And then, like, I'd be like, oh, would I get in trouble? Would I get in trouble for that? I don't know. Like, I don't think I should. They're coming at me as a mannequin. They're coming at me as a mannequin. Bop, 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 bop.
yeah.
All right. But that's where I am at. So yeah, happy to be here with this podcast. Stuart Gordon though. How do you guys feel about his filmography in general?
He created some bangers. I mean, you got Reanimator, From Beyond. I mean, Castle Freak I think is the weakest of those three, but still pretty good. And honestly, I liked Dolls. It's not at the level of the other three that I just mentioned. Like, it is definitely the weakest of those.
Previewing your thoughts. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I did like it. I had fun with it.
Nick, is this your first Stuart Gordon movie, to your knowledge?
No, I have seen Reanimator.
Okay.
I would love to talk about Reanimator, I think, in the future. But I don't think I've seen anything else from him. No, I haven't.
No From Beyond?
No.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I heard From Beyond referenced many times. But yeah, and I think Reanimator is a pretty solid contender for his filmography, but I think I can see what you mean. There are maybe some atmospheric comparisons to be made.
This is kind of interesting. I don't know how verifiable this is, but I'm seeing a lot of accounts that Dolls was made after Reanimator, but before From Beyond. But From Beyond was released before Dolls. So I don't know if it was like a post-production issue with Dolls, but I believe in order. It's like in order of release, it's Reanimator, From Beyond, and then Dolls. But actually, Dolls was the second movie he ever made. I saw like an account on that, and people are like, that's kind of interesting. Like maybe he didn't think it was ready, maybe it needed more editing time and everything. It probably could have used even more editing time, in my opinion. But we'll talk about it. Probably reshoots more than anything else.
Yeah.
But
what if I told you there was supposed to be a sequel to Dolls?
Whoa, Dolls 2? Well,
Yep, there was a canceled sequel.
Okay, it wouldn't be like Alien and Aliens.
Oh yeah, the first one, Doll. They would like retroactively change the name to Doll to then Dolls.
Instead of dolls, it's two dolls.
Whoa! Oh my God! There's multiple dolls. What's it? I don't know if this movie would have worked better or worse if there was only one killer doll. But you're treading a lot of familiar territory if you're worried about one killer doll. Between Child's Play and The Boy and all those.
Really?
You know.
Well, this
I can't
came
think
out
of
a
a
year
single
before
other.
Child's Play.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I didn't think about. That is an interesting conversation. I think we should
Okay.
have that conversation later on.
How much does Child's Play owe to this movie? Guys, I'm going to go on a limb and say surprisingly and not a lot. I think we'll talk about it. I think we'll
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit. Like, weirdly, like, yes, I understand the concept. Like, conceptually, like, they're kind of similar with things. Beyond that, like, we'll talk. But,
Yeah.
I don't think that, I don't think they should sue. I don't think Stuart Gordon has a lawsuit
Yeah.
in his future. But,
So to kind of get started with this, we are talking, of course, of Dolls by Stuart Gordon, coming out in 1987. Stuart Gordon, very big in the 80s and into a little bit of the earlier 90s, with Reanimator probably being his most well-known film. So this was produced by Charles Band. Do you guys know who Charles Band is?
No.
Charles Band, he is the founder of Full Moon Productions.
Full Moon Productions, is that Friday the 13th?
yeah.
That is Ginger Dead Man and Evil Bong and all of those films that we know and that we love. And he even married one of the actresses from Ginger Dead Man.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. You know what? That makes more sense. I feel like the going into this movie, you get if knowing that information, you get a really good idea of the vibe of the movie. It's not going to be a serious movie. Yeah.
yeah. And it was also produced by Brian Usna. Do you know who Brian Usna is?
No.
That is the director of Society from 1989.
Whoa.
Oh, that is
Sorry.
a much different vibe.
That is a much different vibe. Sorry, I'd love to talk about society. Guys, we need to talk about Society, okay? We do need to talk about that movie, though. That movie's crazy.
And on top of that, same year as Society, he also co-wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Wow. Wow.
Lovely.
Can I tell you guys I had an embarrassing thing? Maybe you guys won't find this as funny as I do, but you know that there was a sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids called Honey, I Blew Up the Kids?
What?
And I was like, what? Like he killed his kids? And then I'm like, no, he made them giant. Yeah, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. And then I was like, in the test marketing groups, I'm like, maybe they could have came like Honey, I Gigantic to the kid. Like, I don't know, like, what else would you say? But anyway, I was thinking about that a lot the other day. But I don't know if Honey, I Shrunk the Kids falls in our wheelhouse. It's horrifying for different reasons, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a different type of podcast.
Different type of podcast.
Well, he also, I just want to mention this last thing about Brian Usna before we start actually talking about Dolls. He was supposed to produce this zombie movie called Worst Case Scenario, which the plot of it was, it takes place after the World Cup 2006 finale between Germany and the Netherlands, where Germany loses, and they end up wanting to seek revenge by creating a zombie invasion.
Oh.
Interesting. Weirdly, some Wolfenstein DNA
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You guys are familiar with that? That's interesting.
But unfortunately,
Zombies there.
did not come to be.
Did not come to be. Wow.
Probably for the better.
Well-
That might have been posting things.
Yeah, I guess. But let's talk about Dolls. So now we're going full spoilers. If you haven't seen it, it's on Tubi for free. You know,
I don't know.
it's
would you
very
recommend
short.
it?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. There's a violent thunderstorm which strands young Judy, her father David, and her stepmother Rosemary in the English countryside. Seeking shelter, the trio break into a nearby mansion where they meet the owners, a kindly older couple named Gabriel and Hilary Hartwick. Learning that Judy has lost her beloved stuffed bear Teddy, Gabriel gives Judy a doll named Mr. Punch. So, we're 20 minutes into the movie, but just from that description.
Yeah. A lot of stuff going on beforehand. I guess Mr. Punch is the most iconic thing, right, of this movie. I would argue. How do you guys feel about him?
I like the design of Mr. Punch.
Yes, me too.
The design. I like how he becomes a symbol for how much hold on. Actually, I think it becomes a symbol for maybe the dynamics right away. Because in this first 20 minutes, we see that bear get kicked into the woods and then tossed to something. They get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the? I'm going to this like I haven't even. There's like a stepmom or mistress that's a part of this family. Mm. Is it ever confirmed whether or not they're married?
I think I think I heard the term stepmother used.
Yeah.
Rosemary? I believe Rosemary is a stepmother. Okay. But it's weird, and I'm going to the very end of the movie now where it's like, do we know exactly where they are in the world here? Because it's mentioned that the mother's in Boston.
Yeah, I don't think they ever full on mention, or at least to my memory, I don't remember.
Think so either. I got the impression that weirdly wasn't in America, but I don't know.
Same.
If that. Yeah, I got that impression. Maybe it's Gothic vibes or something.
I think it is America though, because they remember was he driving? By the end, doesn't the guy drive her to Boston? Like, isn't that what they're saying? So they have to be.
Driving.
I guess they were driving.
So they like New Hampshire, Vermont, maybe? New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine.
Yeah, Maine. Stephen King land. Yeah.
Well, this is where I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of lore.
Whoa.
So Mr. Punch, right? Mm-hmm. So that is actually a puppet from like a popular like traditional puppet show. And do you know what the puppet show is called? Punch and Judy.
Whoa.
Oh, and Judy's the name of the daughter.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
So this was very This was very big in England. So that also could be why it just does not feel like this is like it taking place in America.
Yeah.
Like it feels very British.
It does. British countryside, the typical mansion, mansion in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny enough, this comes from Italy, from 17th century Italy, which is where people kind of see its roots. But it started in England in May of 1662.
Dang, okay.
More specifically, May 9th, which is reckoned to be Mr. Punch's birthday.
Whoa.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, is this a horror movie dedicated to Mr. Punch and Judy?
I don't know.
That is really weird because without doxing myself too much, there is a bar that I know of in my neighborhood called Judy and Punch. It's really weird, and I've always wondered why it's called that. It's all swirling together. It's all.
I mean, it's all over. There's a movie from 2019 called Judy and Punch. Australian with Mia Wasikowska. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
I don't know who that is immediately. I really don't know the actors in this movie. I'll be honest. You know.
Well, so she was in the 2019 Judy and Punch, and she is the main character in Crimson Peak.
Whoa! Oh my God! Really?
Yep, she's also the main character in well, sorry, not the main character, one of the main characters in Alice, like the Alice Through the Looking Glass, stuff like that, where she is, in fact, Alice.
That is crazy.
But none of those people are connected to this film.
No, they're connected to Judy and Punch, like the
other tellings of it.
Yes. So it's interesting, like this, and there's also a musical of Punch and Judy, which I have not listened to. I think I'm gonna be okay to never listen to it, but it's just interesting, this decision to have Mr. Punch as a doll given to our character who is named Judy.
That is. And what I wanted to say is that right away, Rosemary, the stepmom, hates this child, and Judy hates her stepmom.
It's a little. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little cliched, right?
Yeah.
When has there ever been, guys? When has there ever been a movie ever with like stepdaughter, stepson, stepmother, stepfather, where the relationship is good? It's like the whole point of that relationship is that it's like difficult and not good, you know? I remember the first movie I ever encountered that one, and it's really honestly over the top with this. I don't know if you guys remember the Parent Trap sequel.
Oh, the sequel.
The sequel, also the original Parent Trap. But I remember like thinking, like, I was like, whoa, yeah, it would be really difficult. Like, you know, like thinking like about it, like if my parents, like, you know, like broke up, oh, it would be really difficult, you know, like that kind of like relationship. And then I feel like for the next 20 years of my life, it's so overplayed. So it's crazy to me that this movie from the 80s is once again, like, you know, maybe a little fresher, right? Because it was of the time when it was made. But, yeah, guys, there's no way Rosemary makes it out of this, right? Right?
I would hope not.
Even at the beginning.
That's the hope right away.
Well, she's cruel, right?
Very cruel.
She's very cruel. Yeah, she's like hateful. Kind of a weakness of the film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a little predictable. We can talk about that more, but
her writing is weak. The personality is too stereotyped. And yeah, and to Bill's point earlier, I think I'm the only one of us three who has a stepmom.
Oh.
So,
oh well, all right, everyone. That'll be enough for me. I did not know that. Okay, do tell. What's your experience, Nick? Actually, unless you.
We don't have to dive too much.
Yeah, actually.
But it is such a cliched thing, and it's a thing with a lot of nuance. I mean, it's awkward at the very core of it. It's awkward to have a stepmom at first. But in film, you're right. There is this like lack of acceptance of, like, if the relationship is good with a stepmom, it doesn't happen till the end.
Yeah.
Like I think about like Yours, Mine, and Ours, right? Two divorcees getting married, and the kids are with them. I forget. I mean, it's a big cast. I think Miranda Cosgrove is in it, if I remember correctly, or Drake Bell. Someone, one of those childhood actors are part of it.
In which movie? Sorry.
Yours, Mine, and Ours.
Oh yeah. Oh god, dude, that's an ancient memory. But okay,
I know, it's like a rom-com from our childhood, but
no, you're good.
It is so overplayed, and I mean, it's quite. It's almost comical how hateful they portray the stepmom, especially because of this bear gets kicked into the woods quite immediately, and it's like, oh yeah, all right, I guess Rosemary is a bitch. She's the bitchy stepmom stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
I'm currently looking up positive movies about step parents.
There's gotta be like one where it's like, somebody died and like, so sorry, and I know we're talking about your very real, we're talking about like your like, not to put you in like the spotlight, Nick, but it's like it is such a trope,
Yeah.
it's such a trope.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah. What's the most positive step parent?
I got one.
Nice.
The Sound of Music.
Wow, real. Their original mother died, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually never even thought about that, but yeah, they would. And now he has to. There's interesting pathos in that movie. Okay.
Yeah. You ready for the one right under it?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow. Which one? Not the good one, right? Not the.
It says Dungeons and Dragons. That's all it says. So I have no idea. I've never seen a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
You've never seen? Okay.
Recently.
The one that's well, I won't get us further off the trail, but the I forget, it's like Heroes and Thieves or something like that, or Honor Among Thieves or something like that. It was actually shockingly good. But all the other Dungeons and Dragons movies that I've seen are real bad. So interesting. I'm interested to know which one it's referring to, though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I got one more, and then we're into dolls. Right under it.
Okay.
Ant-Man.
Interesting.
Oh yes, and I will say respect to Ant-Man. Actually, and again, as someone with divorced families, I think Ant-Man does a really nice job of not just like the whole stepmom trope, but co-parenting.
Yes.
Something so unique that you don't see in a lot of other films. I think you see it more in TV shows, but I think Ant-Man does a really good job at it. Ant-Man's such a pure Marvel movie. A lot of appreciation for it.
Yeah, I love the Ant-Man movies.
Quantumania was tough, but
Well,
Yeah.
we'll get in there.
I remember all the memes.
That has the least to do about like the family dynamic.
Yeah,
I will say that has like almost nothing to do. They were like, yeah, we are a family. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. But it has Catherine Newton in it, so I appreciate it for that.
It was nice to see Michael Douglas in that movie. Old dude survived cancer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael Douglas.
All right,
Here.
dolls.
So
Go back
let's
to
get the
dolls.
mansion. They walk into this mansion. It's that cliche haunted mansion. Disney, Disney Channel. I mean, not Disney. Disney is the haunted mansion. That's what the plot was setting up for.
Dude.
They've come into the mansion after a storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we have more characters entering because, of course, it's a horror movie. We gotta add to some of the body count. We have Ralph, who's a businessman, and we have hitchhikers Isabel and Enid. I think, was it Enid or Enid? It's been a little bit since I've watched it.
I forget. I forget how she says it. She kind of says it with a twang too.
Yeah. So they're all invited to stay the night, but Judy soon discovers all of the toys and dolls that are in the mansion, and Gabriel explains that him and his wife are toy makers. We also see Ralph is also very excited about this, and has never given up like his appreciation of toys. So we're still setting things up. Now we're about 30 minutes in, and we're like, okay, like what's gonna happen? It's called dolls. We see them. What are they gonna do? Then we see that the two ladies are actually petty thieves, who were trying to rob Ralph. During the night, Isabel sneaks out to start robbing the mansion, but her thievery is thwarted by dolls who attack her and drag her into the darkness. Guys, the dolls are alive.
Wow, who could have predicted this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's so funny because, like, it takes so long for something to happen that by the time this first thing happens, it's so underwhelming.
Yes.
So underwhelming.
It's not creepy too. Like, it's not creepy at all. Especially because let me here's where it goes wrong, I think, right away. They enter the mansion, this old couple comes, right? And they're the owners of the mansion, and they accuse, of like, she makes a joke of being a witch, And it's such like a sitcom, like, no, I'm not a witch. That would be crazy. And then she like does the eyes.
Yeah, and then it's just silent during that to emphasize it more.
Yeah. Draw more attention to it.
I feel like we need a laugh track, just like zooming in on her eyes. Like, I feel like there should be a live studio audience moment there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a little tough. It was a little tough. Also, yeah. Sorry, there's nothing that doesn't scream extremely nefarious about this place, right? Like, they're kind of idiots. Like, it's almost like, I love a movie. I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. But it's like, yeah, that's like relies on such like a conceit where it's like, you know, it's like, oh, we broke down in the middle of the night. We gotta. That's tropic in of itself. I think Dolls is gonna fall victim to tropes quite a bit, and we'll talk about that. I think I'm like, you know, I'm interested to see where like our discussion like informs it, but like, I am noticing these kind of like issues right away. You know.
Yes. Right
Yeah.
away. Yep.
Yeah. So Judy witnesses this, and she runs to go tell her father, David. But David does not care. He is the Mike Tomlin meme, the "we do not care."
We do not care. We do not care. I love that.
So,
Yeah, he and he kind of like he's awful to his daughter. He insults her so much because of it, because he doesn't believe her.
yeah, they say that she's always making up stories. That's kind of the thing that, which also such a boring plot device. To just be like, oh, she makes up stories. She's a child. She.
It's called being a child.
Yeah.
You know. Ugh,
Yeah. So she then decides to go to Ralph, because he's been very nice to her. The 5 minutes that we see of Judy and Ralph before any of this, he would be a better father to her than her current father. Which, spoiler alert, I'm just kidding. But, she convinces Ralph to check out the hallway with her. Ralph is pretty skeptical about it, you know, which fair, you know, he doesn't know this kid. But he starts believing her after Mr. Punch, speaks to them a little bit. What's that little? Oh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's worth talking about at this point is what do you guys think about just the visual effects of this? I want to paint the picture to listeners that the first time we see Mr. Punch, he grows super large. This stuffed bear grows super large, unpeels himself into what looks like another stuffed bear, if you ask me, just like this time a stuffed bear in a museum with fangs and teeth. And here we get now with the scene, we start to get a really good idea of like the animation style of how these dolls are animating themselves and their eyes. I mean, let's go to Bill. What did you think of it?
Thank you. I do have some weigh in on this. So here's the deal. This movie relies quite heavily on stop motion, right? 80s were sort of, I would say, this kind of weird come up time for stop motion. I remember, like, you know, there was just like so many, you know, it shouldn't be surprising at all that especially Stuart Gordon is a big fan of stop motion if you've seen Reanimator, right? You know, stop motion was used a horrific effect in the Terminator and everything, right? I'm gonna go out here and say that it's passable, the effects. I'm not always super scared though, I'll be honest. Just because I think in some ways there's a certain goofiness. I guess I'm more a little scared for the human characters. Like, it's like the peril of the human characters more than the appearance of the dolls themselves, if that makes sense. There is some moments I'd like to talk about later that I think were a little more effective. But yeah, this initial sequence is good, not great. And I hate to be a fence sitter with it. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it, though, when we first kind of reveal.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So the effects are done by David Allen. So David Allen, before Dolls, he did some special effects for Flesh Gordon, which you can guess what that is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Flesh Gordon.
Flesh
Not
Gordon,
not Flash.
not Flash.
Okay, I'm aware of that. Nick, are you aware of that situation?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Please explain to me.
Okay.
You could so let's think about this for a second, Nick. The regular is called Flash Gordon. This is called Flesh Gordon.
Now, have you ever seen Flash Gordon, Nick?
No.
Okay. Then
Have you ever seen Flesh Gordon?
There is a Flash Gordon. Let's paint the picture that Flash Gordon is barely not an erotic film. Flash
Okay.
Gordon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Flash Gordon.
Nice.
Yes.
More fleshy.
Okay. That
Yes.
is
Fleshy.
interesting. That's this guy's prior credit. Okay.
Yeah, but you ready for this? He also did stop motion animation for The Howling.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay.
You guys know The Howling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess he's got some bona fides then, right?
So he has that. He has Q, the winged serpent. You know, Larry Cohen movie. He did a segment for Twilight Zone, the movie.
Oh. Okay.
He was nominated for an Academy Award for Young Sherlock Holmes, which came out in 1985.
Okay. So I mean,
So-
he built. Wait, 1985. Before
Yep.
Dolls.
Before, this is all what I just said before Dolls.
So this Academy Award winning work
Nominated, not winning.
nominated for Academy Award led to this 2 years later.
Yes.
Okay.
He also has a big connection with Charles Band and does a lot of his movies.
Okay.
He's done Puppet Masters, like movies. He's done Bride of Reanimator.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He does Ghoulies. He does Batteries Not Included.
Oh, okay. I like that one a little better.
He does Subspecies, Demonic Toys.
Alright, so what did you think?
I think in the beginning I was a little uncertain with how it was going to be. I think it gets better as it goes on. Like, I get more... I like the animation more as the movie goes on. But again, this is like... We're talking about Stuart Gordon, Charles Band, like, films. This probably had a budget of, like, 20 cents. Like... you know? So... It's... I could appreciate it for the fact of, like, there probably was such a small budget for this, and it doesn't look terrible. It's not like this is horrible, like, animation or anything like this.
Yeah.
And there's moments where I'm like, okay, I could see that this guy was nominated for an award. I think of, like, the soldier sequence. I think that's probably the best animation spot of the...
Okay.
of the movie.
Yeah, like when it's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
yeah, that actually, I think that worked good. That did look well, and that looked good.
Yeah, and I don't mind, which we already said spoilers, but when David starts to transform into Mr. Punch later on.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't mind that one. I think it looks pretty good. And, like, after now, like, once I learned that, oh, this guy also did The Howling, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the style.
Yeah. But we'll keep on going. The dolls later start attacking Rosemary, to which she tries to escape and falls out of a window and dies. That's it.
She,
Gone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Enid searches for Isabel and finds her in the attic, almost entirely transformed into a doll version of herself. A horde of toys, which is the soldier sequence, attack and kill Enid.
Yeah, goodbye, Enid.
Yep,
Goodbye, Enid.
we're gone. Don't mind Rosemary's death. I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh,
Out of the window.
out the window.
Yeah, I was like half expecting her to come back later on, but then no, she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. They do the slow mo out the window. Although it's quite funny to me because, like, based on the first shot, it seems like there's much more longer to go in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it looks like she's jumping, but it looks like theoretically you could have just jumped over this crowd of dolls and been okay. But instead, it's like, no, out the window. Whether she meant to or not, she's out of there, and she's dead.
But I want to bring up something to you guys.
Okay.
What other movie features a doll that has a character fall out of a window to their death?
Well, isn't it Alice Sweet Alice?
Yes,
Oh,
but
that's not a doll.
That's not a doll. Yes, there's the window death. But think doll. I'll give you a hint. 1 year later.
Oh, God damn, I can't remember the name of it. Anna, right? No, did you say that, Nick?
Annabelle?
Did you say that, Nick?
Not
It's Annabelle.
Annabelle.
It's the original Annabelle.
You
No.
ready?
Yeah.
What is
Child's
it?
Play, 1988, the first Chucky movie.
The original Child's Play.
The original Child's Play. Remember, there's the shot
Interesting.
of what's it called? I think it's the mom's friend. Gets hit by the hammer and then she flies out the window.
Oh, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if we're asking about what's more believable, I guess neither, but...
Yeah, but
Yeah.
a year later, a movie about a doll, like
Yeah.
dolls coming to life, you have a character killed by falling out of a window, and
Some unoriginality, maybe, in Child's
it's
Play?
it's interesting to think about. I mean, of course, this could all be just like the timing of it, and like Child's Play could have already been in filming where they wouldn't have seen it, but it's an interesting question to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Because
What-
Child's Play is late 1980s. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think if I remember, it's like November of 1988. But, yeah, just something to think about and keep in mind.
Now, I will say this whole business with Isabel and the fact that she's being like made into a doll, there is something kind of grotesque to all this. That it's not like I'm like used to like the Chucky thing, and like please tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm like missing. Chucky is just an ensouled doll,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any biological parts, right?
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about
Depends
Seed
on
of
the-
Chucky, we...
Depends on the I guess it depends on what canon you're working from, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chucky has some body parts. And the Tiffany doll. Oh god, those movies. I love the Child's Play series.
Yeah, they're goofy.
Yeah, but we'll keep on going. So meanwhile, Ralph is caught in a trap the doll set for the other adults before Judy convinces them to save him because he is her friend and has done nothing wrong. David discovers Rosemary's dead body placed in his bed and believes that Ralph killed her. Why? Why is that
Yeah,
instantly where David walks, he's like, it's Ralph.
Let me ask you guys a question at this juncture. Do you guys like Ralph? Are you guys a Ralph fan? Because we're meant to like him, right? No, we
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah, we are.
I like him.
yeah.
He's kind of goofy, but
He's
I like
the
him.
father figure she never had, I think, is the
Yeah.
image of him.
Right. And there's gonna be some not so subtle stuff that it's like, it's like, oh, you could be my new father. Which is ridiculous and kind of honestly ridiculous. I just like it's like you haven't even met the mom. Like I don't know. It's like beyond that. Like everything though. Okay, we're supposed to. So we're supposed to be following like the story. Like at them because ultimately him and Judy are gonna be the ones that survive, right? Now it is interesting because, like, yeah, I feel like if this is not working for you guys here, if him as a character is not working for you guys, I think the movie is failing in some way. So I am asking, I guess, sort of like with a critical lens, what is like your like feelings about, like, do you enjoy the performance, the character? What is your problems with it, or good, good notes?
So, I mean, honestly, I do like Ralph.
Okay.
He's fine. I mean, again, like, the movie's not great. Like,
Yeah, I guess they're all.
That's kind of what we're alluding to with all of this.
We're
It's
alluding
not.
to, it's like, yeah.
In a movie of terribly written characters and tropes and themes, Ralph does stand out, I will say. His performance does just jive well. It clicks in.
Mm-hmm. And fun fact about the actor that plays Ralph, he's in the pilot of Everybody Loves Raymond.
What?
Yeah, he's in the pilot.
In what capacity?
It's
okay. It's
just
okay.
Leo.
It's okay.
That's all.
It's okay. It's okay. That's interesting, though.
He's also in Seinfeld. He's
so
Conrad
crazy.
in the episode The Nap.
Okay.
Is that where you recognize him?
Yes, because like the thing about him is I kept thinking he was the there's another actor he's got an actor look-alike, the guy from, oh my gosh, is it Stranger Things? Yeah, the
Patton Oswalt?
Yeah, that's who I thought he was at first. And I was like, oh, that's not him. That's not him. But I knew his face from somewhere, and it probably was Seinfeld because I recently watched it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's passed away in real life.
Oh.
Yeah, he passed away from a heart attack at 58.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so sad. I was going to say, I'm like, couldn't have been that old. Okay.
Yeah,
geez.
from Jersey. Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I do believe, if we're getting back to the movie, that the dad writes him off and says, that guy's probably a sex fiend.
Yeah.
It's like, because he's enjoying time playing dolls with your daughter, who is of the right age to be playing dolls with.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, like, he's being it is never at any point suggested that he could be, like, malicious in any way, like, ill intent. So the fact that the father's like, this right here, sex fiend. Like,
I'll say this, and that is not my defense of, like, anything, but, like, I guess it is, like, there is a very negative perception of people, and, like, I ran into this with teaching stuff, and, like, maybe somewhat, interesting for all of us, that there is a weird perception, like, if you're an older person and you're not supposed to be around kids, like, you're supposed to be around kids for your job, or, like, like a program or something, if you're just randomly electing to spend time with kids, even though I don't think any of us think that that's, like, a thing, it is considered, like, societally creepy. That's unfortunate, And I mean, maybe the 80s were the beginning of, like, hey, we shouldn't let older men hang out with younger children, and it's like a thing. I think it is very interesting because I think that represents a very mean-spirited side of I believe his name is David, the character, the father.
Yep.
David. Very mean-spirited. But it's actually, I was kind of like, oh, interesting. He gives a shit about his daughter, but it's only through the lens of this, like, bigotry. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot interesting with this movie, and, like, as we go a little bit more, like, I'll kind of say a few of, like, the interesting facts about some of the actors and the actresses that are in this, because very weird, like, other jobs that a lot of them had, or, like, things you might recognize them from. But we'll keep on going. So Judy and Ralph enter the workshop where the irate David finds them. Ralph tries to explain that the dolls attack the others, but David refuses to listen, knocking both his daughter and Ralph unconscious. The Mr. Punch doll comes to life and attacks David. other dolls drag the unconscious Ralph and Judy to safety as David ends up destroying the Mr. Punch doll. R.I.P. a legend.
Real legend.
The Hartwicks appear and explain that they are a magician couple who see toys as the heart and soul of childhood.
Motherfuckers, you're sorry. You're not magicians. You're literally you're artificers. Like you're like fucking mad scientists. You're magicking. Okay, maybe they are magicians. Maybe I just wrote myself into a thing that, yeah, when they're like, we're magicians, I'm like, that is very lighthearted for what you're implying you're doing.
Yes.
You know, that's extremely lighthearted.
Yes,
Okay.
and the whole, it was at this point, and maybe it should have taken me a little longer, but at this point, I think the quote, and they're joking about them being magicians, one of them goes, "What kind of magic is that? Witchcraft?" And they're like, "No, it isn't." And it's like, at that point I realized, oh no, the writing really does suck for this whole movie.
Yeah, very, very poor script. Very poor script, unfortunately. Not great performances either, but so much of like bad horror movies can be traced back to bad screenplays and bad scripts. Really.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Generalization, but yeah, no. I really was like, oh, this is the conceit of the movie. This is what we're going with here. Ralph got saved because he has the heart of a child. Okay.
Oh yeah, so like this is we'll say now the Hartwicks plan and what they do. So they dislike the bitterness of adults. And when people seek shelter at their mansion, the dolls serve as a test for the visitors. People like Ralph, who appreciate the joys of childhood, and children like Judy are spared and leave the house with a fuller appreciation of life.
Okay. You know what would have been okay. Hey, that sucks. That sucks. That's all terrible. That's all terrible. You know what would have been a much better conceit, I think.
What?
Right? I think if the Hartwicks were being held there, like captive. Like the dolls are really the ones in control. And I saw a little blurb, and I don't want to get like too far ahead of myself here, that there was supposed to be a sequel to Dolls, which is so funny that's Dolls 2. Dolls, and then like give an ES at the end as well. Judy was supposed to receive a package, presumably at her like mom's place in Boston.
Yep.
And it was going to be dolls of the Hartwicks.
Oh.
That they got like turned, like, you know, or implying that, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, implying that the dolls like turned against them or whatever.
Wow.
So and that was supposed to be Dolls 2. You know, but yeah, this kind of blows, right, guys? Like, am I the only one in like thinking this? Like, it's like, oh, this is like a test for people. And also like they kind of throw away that like most of these dolls are supposed to be criminals. I guarantee you not all of them were. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I guarantee like some of them, like, yeah, okay, the mother, you know, the mother and stepmother, or excuse me, the father and stepmother in this movie suck, and they're not good people. I don't think they deserve to be, you know, transformed into like, oh god, it's gross. It's gross. I don't know. It's not consistent logic. I don't know.
Yeah, and it says, however, those who refuse to change their ways can never leave.
Right.
And it's at this point that David gets transformed into a Mr. Punch doll.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we talk about two quick points really quick that happen? One of them is the revealing point that the old couple, in case you haven't figured it out already, are bad. One of them go, I forget who it is, but they go, "You witch!" And then the response is, "Oh, you figured it out. No, bitch. We knew the whole time that you were a witch. It's okay. From the moment you joked about not being one, it was pretty clear." And then the second one, the fake letter.
Oh, yeah. We haven't gotten there yet.
That is such. We'll get there. But painful.
Yeah. So the next morning, Ralph and Judy wake up, and They are convinced that last night's events were just a dream. Then, Gabriel Hartwick reads a fake letter from her father explaining to Judy that himself and Rosemary are changing their names and leaving the country with Enid and Isabel. What? Like, even as a child, you would be like, what? What?
The trauma of like, if you're a kid and you're like, your dad has decided that he doesn't want you anymore, but he does want to be with two random strangers that he just met last night, and your stepmom, which you hate, and they're leaving the country. They didn't say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you can be with your mom. She's pretty cool.
Yeah. And again, we don't know anything about her mom. Her mom could be worse. Like, we truly don't know.
Custody.
So that's what makes this like, and like even Ralph's like, huh? But Judy is like, okay. Oh my god. I was cracking up at this point.
Yeah, basically, don't worry about it. Because the screenplay was never going to get us there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god. So yeah, Judy ends up being able to stay with her. It says with her caring mother in Boston in the Wikipedia. Do we know that she was a caring mother? I mean, I'll believe it. It's in Wikipedia. I'll trust it.
Sure, yeah.
But Judy finds Teddy back in Ralph's car, and she ends up giving it to the Hartwicks as a present. Ralph and Judy leave, and Judy hints to him that if he would like to stay with her and her mother, that he could be Judy's new father.
Yeah.
Judy's plot all along was like, I'm gonna get myself a new dad.
Yeah.
When her biological father... Oh, God, yeah. That also... Sorry, the transformation scene of him into Mr. Punch was also... I know we kind of glossed over it. That was crazy.
Yeah.
You know? That was kind of ridiculous. That was ridiculous in, like, a really funny way. I appreciated it that, they tried, you know?
Yeah.
They're gonna, kind of go there. But, yeah, no, that was crazy. That was crazy.
And then the film ends with us seeing the people who died in the house now as dolls. And now there's another car of obnoxious parents and children getting stuck in the mud near the mansion. The end.
What the frig is the problem with all this? Like, yeah. Woo! What's the problem with the goddamn road by their mansion? Such that, it's like, goddamn.
Is that part of their magic? Like, can they create mud to trap cars? Is that part of their magic?
Very exceptionally sticky mud. Yeah, that's exactly it.
This old couple just goes out with their shovels and goes, yeah, I'm gonna put a nail in that one. And
Yeah. So this is now where I'm going to start to say who some of these people are. All right. So first, let's start with good old Gabriel. Who's played by Guy Rolfe, who's a British actor who's known for playing a lot of villainous roles.
Okay.
So we could kind of see that in this, I guess, if he's a villain. He's got to be a villain, right?
Yeah. A villain is he's
But-
an accomplice.
Yeah. Honestly, not. He's in a lot of Puppet Master films before he passes away, but he's in a lot of 40s and 50s movies, like Home to Danger, Operation Diplomat, You Can't Escape, things like that. But probably most well known for horror in Mr. Sardonicus. That's him. Then we've got Hilary Mason, who plays Hilary Hartwick, who she is, I think this is one that you guys will recognize.
She's recognizable, yes.
Yeah.
She's in Don't Look
she?
Now.
Got it.
And she's
Okay.
the medium in that.
She has a very medium type presence, respectfully.
Oh,
If I can say
yes.
that, if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah. So that's what she's in. And then we have Isabel, who's best known as the girl in the music video of Take On Me.
What?
As the person that goes into the freaking, like, drawn world.
Yep.
Like, she's in the diner and then she gets sucked into the drawn world. That's her?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because she's the former girlfriend of the lead singer.
Oh my god. No
Wow.
freaking way. And sorry, that was Isabel? Or who?
Oh,
Yep.
Wow.
That is crazy. Now I gotta look this up.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is now that was before Dolls, so how did she get the role in Dolls? She probably had on her resume or whatever, I am the girl from Take On Me.
Found that clip. Have you seen this? This is me.
So that's our cast in this.
It's really a nobody cast.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's a nobody cast. And
It's nobody cast of, like, Guy Rolfe is the most famous of everyone.
Yeah. Mhm.
And this is end of career for him, like, pretty close to it, because he passes away in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But big
No one
big
really-
character actor.
Yeah. No one really
And-
took off after.
Yes.
his career.
This is like if we took a whole bunch of character actors and threw them into one movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is so interesting. It's totally her.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like now like I'm like blown away by the fact that God
Yeah.
dang.
So at this point, I'm going to ask you guys for your one sentence review or whatever you would like statement of Dolls.
Alright, I got mine.
All right.
I liked in the movie that dolls got kicked a lot.
There's a lot
Just
of
like this
kicking.
movie should be.
Hmm.
I like that one a lot.
Thank you.
Oh God, sorry. I always want to do these like fancy. Do you have one? Off the top
I
of
got
your
you.
head?
I got you. So you have a
Okay.
little bit of time to think about yours.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Mine's going to be Stuart Gordon. Stop making doll movies.
Despite reasonably scary subject matter, this movie can't seem to get out of the way of its own pitfalls. Or should I call them pit dolls?
Pit dolls.
Okay, there you go. The pit dolls of this movie.
Wow. Nice.
Oh
Yeah.
man! And on that note, that is Dolls. That. So I was very generous. I don't know why I was this generous on Letterboxd for it. I did like it. I did have fun with it,
What
but
did you give it on Letterboxd, Ryan?
I gave it 3 stars.
Really?
I need to
Generous.
change
is
that
an
to 2.5.
average movie.
I'm changing
Yeah.
it to 2.5
Wow.
like, currently.
I was
But
like, yeah, this is what average movies are these days.
yeah,
You see, a 2.5 movie I could not recommend to somebody though. You know, if I legitimately thought a movie was, would you recommend this movie to someone?
no.
So I would. I'd recommend this movie to fans of corny horror movies, which is quite a big
Yes.
audience. Which is quite
Or
a big
like
audience.
Stuart Gordon, like people who want to watch all of Stuart Gordon movies. Yes, this is
Yeah.
definitely I think on the lower end of his movies, but it on Letterboxd it has an average of 3.3 stars.
Oh
Whoa.
my god.
People are really going to bat for this movie. Yeah, this movie is the most 2.5 star movie either way. It's not horrible. It's not good though.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There was flashes of greatness, but I think it's been done better.
yeah. There's moments in it where it's like, okay, that wasn't too bad, but yeah,
Anyway, now we never ever have to watch doll movies again. Now we never ever have to watch doll movies again. I did not even find it that scary. I think there was some horrific elements where it's like, I think the idea of being a human being turned into a doll and sort of like retaining some biological components is kind of scary, you know? I think that that's more horrific. I think the act of like, you know, like the thing, but the actual dolls themselves, I did not feel especially menaced by. Like, if I was in that house, things would have gone very different.
Yeah.
If I was in that house, okay? If I was in that, if I was in, yeah. Give me a flamethrower. Give me a flamethrower.
Oh my gosh. So on that note, we want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in. Thank you, Bill and Nick, for being here. Had a lot of fun talking about dolls with you guys. And thankfully, we are going to be watching next time 2 very good movies.
Thank God. Finally, good movies?
We're back to good movies, guys. We've done it.
We're allowed to watch good
Great,
movies now.
great. Time.
We're allowed
days
to.
ahead.
So next episode is going to be a double feature of actress Belen Rueda. We're going to get to talk about her, and we're going to be talking about the movies The Orphanage, also known as El Orfanato, and Los Ojos de Julia, which is Julia's eyes. So the episode will be a little bit different. We're not going to go over the entire plot of each movie because that's going to take way too long. We're just going to talk a lot about different elements, about her performance, stuff like that.
All right.
All right, so be on the lookout for that. I think Julia's Eyes is free somewhere. I don't think The Orphanage is. So, The Orphanage is, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And I think it should be on a list of the top horror movies of all time. Like, it should be in a top 100 list.
It's a good one. Yeah, I'd recommend it right off the bat before we even record the episode. It's a nice tug at your heartstrings horror movie.
Yeah, I just recently showed it to my horror movie class. And it effectively made 7 of my 12 students cry.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Yeah.
just a warning, but that is where we will end it. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. And on that note, always remember, if your car gets stuck in mud and there is an old couple in a mansion that owns a bunch of dolls, do not stay there.
Just stay in your car. Just stay in your car.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.